Welcome 2021, Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to the new year. 2020, for most of us, has been an incredible year. Incredible in good ways, incredible in bad ways, incredible in just plain different ways, but awesome and incredible and unbelievable and eye-opening, awe-inspiring, and any other superlative you want to use to describe 2020. Put them in the comments below. I would love to hear them. Welcome to 2021. I usually use this segment to talk about what I'm doing as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world of business. 2017, I had the opportunity to, as part of my divorce and things, divest myself of all my previous business and work experiences and activities and decide, what do I really want to do? What am I really interested in? What am I curious about? What do I want to do now? Because I was old enough to not want to go back to some of the things I'd done before from the lessons that I'd learned, but too old to retire and just throw in the towel and say, I'm done, what am I going to do now? Or I'm just going to live out my remaining years reading books and sipping pina coladas on the beach. I don't know, it didn't seem very appealing to me. So I'd always been curious about the internet, the online world, so I decided I would hop on. I would jump in with both feet, and I would see what I could do and see what I could learn and see what I would experience and see how it felt and just go with the flow of becoming an online business owner, an online entrepreneur. And like so many others who have come before me, I tripped and stumbled and flailed around for longer than I care to admit. But I guess I probably did that in my offline businesses too, and even in my corporate career. Our careers go, our life doesn't go in a straight line from where we are to where we want to be. It doesn't go in a nice straight line to the top of that mountain we're trying to achieve. It tends to go, one step forward, 2 steps back, 5 steps forward, 1 step back, 10 steps forward, 3 steps back. That's just how our lives tend to go. Do they have to go that way? Does everybody's go that way? Absolutely not. But for me, that has been my personal experience, is that I make progress in the direction I want to go, and then I make some bad moves, I make some mistakes, I trip, I stumble, I fall. But guess what? I always brush my knees off and get back up and keep moving toward those things that I want, the things that are important to me. New Year's Day, it is New Year's Day 2021, and I don't know about you, I personally had a great year in 2020. Was it crazy? Was it insane? Was it chaotic? Was it frustrating? Was it stressful at times? Absolutely. But what year of my life hasn't been, right? It hasn't been to the extent that so many other people were impacted simultaneously, but for the most part, that's how life is. Life is a series of ups and downs, and we figure out how we're going to navigate and experience it as only we uniquely can. So 2021, I'm actually very excited about. I thought 2020 was going to be this incredible year of vision, and for somebody that's visually challenged and does everything with magnifying glasses and 62-inch screen TVs to function, I thought it was going to be this great year of clarity and focus and all the things we associate with a crystal clear vision. And instead, it was a muddy, jumbled mess for the vast majority of the people on the planet. There were some people that flew right through it and really actually benefited from all the chaos. And there's others that are continuing to struggle into 2021. And I want to be a resource to help you not struggle with 2021 and the rest of your life, to help you, like I'm helping myself, to get the clarity and the freedom of mind and expression and experience to know that no matter what, I'm going to be okay. The universe always supports me, and I'm going to figure it out. And we all do. We all figure it out. You're listening to me now. We're all still here. And some of us have had humongous challenges that there's no explanation, but miracles that we are still here. And I'm actually one of those people. There's no reason that I'm here except for I'm supposed to be here for something bigger than myself. And my job as a human being is to figure that out and to do the best I can to become the best person I can, to serve people at my highest capability, the best way that I can. And I hope I'm moving toward that direction. I definitely am not there yet, but I'm moving toward it. And I think the best way for me to do that is to do things remotely and online. Why? Especially because years like 2020 have taught us that we can't expect things to always be the same. Now, I don't know about you, but I gave up a long time ago expecting things to stay the same and never change. I embrace change in my early 20s for sure, but probably, yeah, I probably struggled with it in my teen years, but in my early 20s, I had some challenges, some health challenges, some experiences that I could go one of two ways. I could have, given up and died, or I could have said, all right, this kind of sucks, but I don't have to stay here. I can figure this out. And it was after I'd become disillusioned with doctors and physicians and things, because I'd been seeing them for, lots and lots and hundreds of them for like 3 years, and I was getting progressively worse. My health was getting worse, not better. And at some point I just realized I need to take this into my own hands. I need to be responsible for this. I need to figure this out for me, because as well-intended as all of these experts and all of these specialists are, they can only do so much for me, or they can't do anything for me, because they only see a teeny tiny sliver or snapshot of who I am and what I am and what's going to happen with me. Now remember, this was, Jesus, almost 40 years ago. I hate to admit that, but 35, 40 years ago, and it was before medical professionals practiced team diagnosis and things, and they got different specialties together on teams that would help diagnose people. It was before they did any of that. So I was seeing, a kidney specialist, a heart specialist, an internist, a nephrologist, lots of optometrists and eye doctors. And I had a systemic thing that was going on with me, but each different specialty was treating me as if that was the only thing wrong with me. So some of the things that they were doing were actually interfering with one another and making me worse, making my symptoms and the side effects of the medications and the treatments they were giving me actually worse than what was wrong with me altogether. And it wasn't until I said enough and I just stopped taking everything. I stopped seeing the doctors. I stopped taking everything, which I don't recommend depending on what's actually wrong with you. But in my case, when they really didn't know and they were just slapping band-aids on everything they could think of to treat symptoms instead of diagnosing and figuring out what was truly the root cause of my challenges and problems and what was wrong with me, it wasn't until I stopped taking everything that I realized that it was actually the side effects that were making me worse and sicker than whatever it was that was systemically wrong with me in the first place. And this didn't happen overnight. It happened I quit taking my drugs kind of like cold turkey, which again, don't recommend. I did the same thing after my sudden cardiac arrest with my metoprolol. It's a beta blocker, and I stopped taking it for about a year, and I went cold turkey and just stopped taking it, and ended up having to go back on it again because I did set my box off because I was running and doing all kinds of things that were really good, not necessarily great for my heart. So I learned a big lesson there. We have to always use ourselves as our own science experiment. And if we do that, if we figure out what works for us, because the only expert on you, the absolute only expert on you is you. Only you know everything about you. Nobody else does. And it's kind of fun to peel back the layers of ourselves and understand ourselves better and figure out what's going on with us versus thinking other people are going to be able to tell us what's going on with us, because they don't have a clue. As much as we might tell them or explain to them or show them or try to communicate, until we can tap into other people's brains, we're still going to be the best expert on ourselves. So I don't know what got me thinking about that today, but I guess because we're in a new year, and whenever we start a new year, at the end of the year and at the beginning of the new year, I go through a big life overhaul planning phase where I look at all the areas and aspects of my life, right? Physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, financial, relationships, and contribution. And yesterday I did a bunch of things to change my physical environment. Obviously, my backdrop is gone. My backdrop, I guess I used it for about a year, and it changed a little bit when I moved, but I thought, okay, it's time for a massive change. Now, obviously, I haven't figured it out yet, so I'm sitting in a chair. Actually, these chairs have an incredible history. We used to live in a big old farmhouse when I grew up, and we had this beautiful fireplace with this amazing beam that was actually part of a Wells Fargo station, which was on the property originally before the house was built. And we had these two fireside chairs sitting on either side of the fireplace. And this chair, this is actually, I think, the third or fourth recovering of these chairs before my parents moved out of that house, and now it's a hospital and a Presbyterian home for the elderly. That property is beautiful property, but these fireside chairs were there. So my sister took them because we couldn't bear, any of us, to have them disappear from the family. But she had them in her basement for a while, and then she's like, I don't have room for these anymore. Will someone take them? And since I was the closest, I put them in my area, and I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do with them. And my mom wants me to recover them, so I'm sure I'm going to recover them, but I have to figure out what kind of a pattern or print I want to put on them. This one's it's definitely my mother's taste, not necessarily mine. And that's not a bad thing. It's just we have very different taste. I guess I like old-fashioned things too, but she's got a little bit more of a rusty, fall-type color, old-fashioned thing, and feel for what she likes and her tastes than I do. I like super colorful things, which doesn't always fly, but I suspect that they will be recovered in something crazy, wild, and multicolored. So these chairs are comfortable, and they're great chairs. I remember as a teenage girl, curling up in these chairs by the fireplace and reading around the holidays and things. So I'm more than delighted to have them in my family and to take care of them and be a steward of them going forward. So what are we going to work on in 2021? It's a big question for me. Last year, 2020, allowed us to do things that we've never done before. Now, people might think I had to do things because I've never done them before, but I thought of it as allowing me to do things that I hadn't really done before. Now, some of the things that I did, I definitely done for decades, right? Challenges. If I think of just the topic of challenges, I have done personal challenges and business challenges and challenges and group challenges for literally decades. Before the internet even existed, I was doing challenges. And as they started to get big online, I'm like, well, geez, I'm doing these all the time. I need to be sharing them. And I've even been sharing challenges before they got big online. I was doing challenges on my blog for stress and stress relief back in the early 2000s. But now, in the last year or two, everybody and their brother are doing challenges because the marketing gurus online discovered finally that challenges are an incredible way to reach and help people that you want to reach. You can help get them a quick result ahead of time and then encourage them to continue to work with you further and work with you on a deeper level. And so marketers are loving them. Well, when 2020, when we first started to see the shutdowns and things, I had already planned to do a challenge. I'd probably done one or two already, and I decided, okay, well, I'm going to continue to do challenges because that's something that I can do that not only helps other people, but it keeps me personally moving forward. If I have something to do every day, to focus on, to talk about, to actually do every day, that helps me because I'm always moving toward my goals and my dreams and what I want, and I want to help other people do that. That's where the SOAP framework came from. I think my first 30-day challenge was in April, and then I did a 40-plus day challenge from June into July because I was challenged by a group of entrepreneurs to do a 40-day challenge. And then in August, we did a 30-day challenge again. In October, we did a 30-day challenge, and we did the 5th and final Get Up and Go challenge, 30-plus days, just finished it up yesterday in the month of December. Now, why? Because challenges are really fun, but they also allowed me to continue to grow and move forward and focus in a positive way on the things I needed to do every day to continue to build and grow my business and to keep my life on track in a year that many found very disruptive, very chaotic, and just plain like an explosion had gone off in our families and in our lives. And that's in effect what did happen. So I did the Get Up and Go challenge. So now I'm sitting here, 2021, first day, and saying, okay, what am I doing with challenges now going forward? I'd like to do a challenge summit. I was thinking the month of February, but I have a granddaughter due the middle of February, so the only way I can pull that off is if I pre-record everything, all of the interviews, and then just stream it out in February. I don't really want to wait till March because that feels like too long for me, and it feels like the point at which people have given up on their really big goals and objectives and ideas and desires and resolutions for the new year. And so I had planned on, I did a summit in 2019. I planned on doing it in January, ended up doing it in February, which was good timing. And so I actually am thinking about maybe doing that, pulling that off, seeing if I can pull that off for February, maybe the second week of February, which again is when my granddaughter is due. So we'll see if that works. And then I want to rethink, what do I want to do with challenges? I think the Get Up and Go challenge is a great framework. I specifically picked 30 days to see if people are serious or not. If you want something in your life and you're not willing to do one little bitty thing every day for 30 days, I think we have to ask ourselves, am I really serious about that? You know, if I say I'm going to give up sugar, I can give up sugar for 10 days all day long. And then I find that after, it's usually day 5, 6, and 7 that are the hardest for me. And then once I get through them, it becomes easy. If I can give it up for 10 days, I should be able to give it up for 30 days. If I can give it up for 30 days, that helps me to create a lifestyle change where my body doesn't crave it that much and I don't need it anymore. So I personally I like doing 30-day challenges, but I want to figure out what I want to do with it going forward in 2021. Now I know I don't want to do a 30-day challenge in January because I just finished 5 of them, and in between each one I did a daily video of some sort to contribute and move and carry that forward. Now I still think people need to get up and go and get moving in 2021, and I probably should have started one back to back, but it feels heavy to me. So if it feels heavy, then I know that that's not right for me. Plus I'm doing a whole bunch of other people's challenges at the beginning of the year, and so that gives me a break from my own and lets me actually participate and enjoy learning and growing and developing my skills as I move forward. So I guess that was very long-winded on challenges to say, I don't know what I'm going to do next with them, but I'm probably going to do more Get Up and Go challenges this year. Maybe I'll change the name of it. I don't really believe in I'm going to put a challenge up for 7 to 10 days and then I'm going to take the content away, and the only way you can get it is if you pay me money. I personally think that feels icky, so I don't do it, and I'm not going to do it going forward into 2021. When I do my challenges, they're going to continue to be free. And if you know and you ask, you can always find the content. If you hear about it and you haven't participated in it, guess what? Just message me and I will hook you up with the page and the link to the content so that you can go and learn when it's right for you. I never would presuppose that when I provide something or when I share something, it's the right time for you or for anyone else to necessarily absorb that information. But I know it's great, valuable information, and you might want to come back to it later on. So I'm not going to put it up and take it down. To me, that's a marketing false scarcity and to get people to act now kind of thing. And I think that it's not necessary. It's not necessary. We want to attract the people to us that are right for us to be working with. And I don't want to attract a bunch of short-term people looking for a quick fix or a hot tip that's going to give them, this little adrenaline rush that helps them create a little teeny result but doesn't help them in the long run. I guess that's my take is I'd rather teach you to fish than give you a fish. And I think that challenges, a lot of them are being set up right now to give people a fish and then sell them a giant, freezer full of fish, not necessarily teach them how to become self-sufficient. It's the same way I feel about personal development. We are our own best expert and guru. We're the only expert on us. And we can learn from other people. We can model them. We can have coaches. But a coach isn't going to do it for you, right? A guru isn't going to do anything for you. What happens and what you create and who you become in your life is entirely 100% up to you. And people can help you with little bits and pieces of that, but they can't do it for you. People can sell you a done-for-you service, but if you never apply the service, never use it, it's worthless. So fun challenge today was about, I have no idea, I can't remember, I'm going to have to look. Fun challenge today was about, it's day 359, because I didn't start on the first last year, so I'm going to continue through. When I say I'm going to do a 365-day challenge, I do a 365-day challenge. So we're on day 359 today, and it was about the sweetest thing you can get is praise, and sharing what you have for praise today. So we'll go probably, I figured we're going to go to about January 8th till we get to the end of do one fun thing every day. Now today we did start a new 365-day challenge because I wanted to start it on the 1st of the year so I can end it on the 31st of 2021 or very close. And we are going to do something, this is really different for me and different to share for me. So this will be a growth opportunity for me throughout the year. It's to do one thing every day that centers you. And today was about a tickly throat. And you, when, excuse me, obviously centering me is emotionally challenging. And you, when will you begin that long journey into yourself? This is by Rumi, and our challenge today is to say, how and when are we going to start working on understanding ourselves better? Particularly dry throat today. And so then our challenge today is just to share, how are you going to start discovering yourself? How I'm going to start doing it, how I'm going to become more centered, is by doing this challenge every single day, and not only sharing it on my Horne-Ellstrom page, but actually freaking doing it. This is the first year that I've actually, I hate to say this, but killed off Pajama Grandma. I did, and why Pajama Grandma is still with us is, and I'm in my pajamas today as a tribute, I guess, why Pajama Grandma is still with us is I chose to do the 365-day challenge on my Pajama Grandma page. Now, that's about the only thing I'm doing on that page these days, and I'm not showing up as Pajama Grandma in any of my business formats anymore, except I was reminded that my phone message still says Pajama Grandma, so I need to take that off. I'll do that today as part of my New Year's activities and cleaning things up. But I want to focus more, and next year with my 365-day challenge, to focus on just getting to know and understand myself better. I am working on a book by Lynn Grabhorn called Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. No, that's not it. Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting. No, yeah. Excuse Me, Your Life is Waiting playbook by Lynn Grabhorn. And I did this in 2011. It took me an entire year. And I thought, I'm going to do it again, but it won't take me that long. And lo and behold, I'm on page 107 of 250 or so. And I started it in April. So guess what? It's going to take me a year this time too. That's how good this book is. And this is all about getting to know myself and what makes me tick and making my life better. And so it goes right along with the do one thing every day that centers you. So I'm excited about working on both of those things this year from a personal standpoint. So 365-day challenges, gonna finish those up. So I guess I am still doing challenges, right? Even when I say I'm not doing challenges, I've got 3 going on or 2 going on, right? So what are you working on this year? Have you mapped out? Now, normally around the first couple days of the year, I've mapped out my entire year, and I've broken it down into quarterly goal, annual goals, big goals, annual, quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily. I've taken the 7 key areas of my life and I've broken them down. What are my 3 or 4 goals for the year? And those, of course, stem from what do I want to accomplish in my life in each of these areas of my life? Then it's, what am I going to do this year? And then this year, I break it down into 90-day segments. So I have literally 4 big milestones, quarters, that are really like years. And I break those down, and I break it all the way down to what do I need to do every day to ensure my physical well-being or my physical goals are met. What do I need to do, and what can I do? Not what I need to, what can I do and will I do every day to meet my financial goals? What will I do every day to meet the goals I have for my relationships? Things like that. But I break it down to what do I do every day? Because if we do and pay attention to what we do every day, it's like if you want to be happy, if you just focus on, you don't have to focus on being happy from a grandiose standpoint, just focus on how am I going to be happier today? What am I going to do today to make me happy? What am I going to do today to have fun? And all of a sudden, you'll realize that you're finding more happiness, more joy, more fun, more everything in your life. So that's my thoughts for the first day of this year. If I can help you in any way, hit me up in the comments below. Just ask. Otherwise, I'll be with you tomorrow, just sharing what I'm doing as I transition from the brick and mortar world to the online world. Have an amazing day and a blessed and incredibly awesome 2021. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.